Good morning from Disneyland. I'm here bright and early because I am going to be teaming up with a friend to test some rope dropping strategies. Now, I always tell people, don't rope drop Rise of the Resistance. It's really hard to do successfully, and you're gonna miss out on short wait times on all the other rides while you're stuck in line for Rise of the Resistance. But my friend and I are putting it to the test this morning, and we are gonna rope drop Rise of the Resistance 2 different ways. So I'm gonna get there as early as possible, which is why I'm here so early. I'm going to go straight to Rise of the Resistance, and my friend Chantel is gonna be about 5 minutes behind me, and we're gonna show you the difference with being here super early, getting to the front of the line, and what even just 5 minutes difference, what it makes to the rope dropping Rise of the Resistance. And then it will help you decide whether or not you want to even attempt rope dropping Rise, which I don't recommend. You're gonna see why in this video. Now, this morning it's early entry for Disneyland, which means that early entry guests, which are guests staying at the Disneyland Resort hotels, they get in 30 minutes before, so they can start riding rides in Tomorrowland and Fantasyland. So they're already gonna be in the parks, and they can line up in Fantasyland, and they'll have about a 90-second head start getting to Rise of the Resistance. So there's already going to be people ahead of me getting on Rise of the Resistance, which makes it even more challenging. But I'm going to do my very best to get in there fast as I can so you can see what it's like to rope drop Rise of the Resistance. And my friend Chantel is just going to be 5 minutes behind me, and I am guessing she's going to have a significantly longer wait than I do. But that's why we're doing this. We're gonna test it out and we will see. I'm Melissa with Mix in Some Magic. Thanks for following along. I'm excited. Here we go. This is my friend Chantel, magical tour guide.
And this is Melissa with Mix in Some Magic. And we're here today to do our testing strategy for
Rise of the Resistance.
And are we gonna make it? Of course we're gonna make it, but we wanna kind of show you why maybe it's not such a good idea, but things that are gonna help if you do decide you want to do it. It is a Tuesday morning and it's already busy and it's the holiday season. So this is a good time to test this.
Yep. Okay, do you feel confident?
I'm confident because I'm not trying to get in the line quickly. I'm just trying to show people, if you don't get here early, why it's probably not a good idea to try and do this. But you're gonna show them why it is a good plan. If you have a good plan, it does work.
We'll see. I hope it works, because early entry, they're gonna be in front of me. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yep.
It's Melissa in her black Mickey cap. She's off. She's gonna go get to the front of that rope. I'm gonna show you all the steps, but it is 7:25.
Okay, I just got through the ticket gate and now I am in the park, and I'm gonna hustle up to the entrance of Frontierland so that I can get as close to the rope as possible. And Chantel's gonna be a little bit behind me. She's gonna do the same thing. Here we go.
So at 7:25, they let you in the gates. Disneyland is not officially open until 8 o'clock today, but they let you in, and they're gonna let us in until certain points. It's called rope drop. Certain points of the park where you will stand and you will wait for attractions. She's waiting for Rise of the Resistance. I'm also gonna show you where you don't wanna line up if you are going to Rise of the Resistance. And let me just do a little bit of Main Street vibes for you as we head towards the castle on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this sign right here, early entry. All of those guests on that side are hotel guests. So they're either staying at the Disneyland Hotel, Disney's Grand California Adventure, or Pixar Place. They get on rides in Tomorrowland and in Fantasyland early at 7:30. So they're going to do rides, but they will not be able to get in line for Rise of the Resistance. We will have the same opportunity as them, but they will have a closer rope drop spot. So they will actually be lined up over by Red Rose Tavern, and they'll be able to get on the attraction a little bit faster than regular day guests. So keep that in mind on early entry days. Early entry is on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, currently at the Disneyland Park.
I got myself all lined up right in front of Frontierland, and I am here at a really good time. See how there's not very many people behind me? A lot of people are still entering the parks. The crowds haven't really built up that much yet, which is great. There's the castle, and you can see the rope right there that's stopping everyone from going forward quite yet.
All right, we are here at the end of Main Street. There's a rope over there for people going to Tomorrowland and Fantasyland. People right here going to Fantasyland. And over here, people who are going to, let's see, we've got Adventureland over there. And then over here, we've got Frontierland. And this is the entrance you're gonna want to go to. This is the rope you wanna line up at if you wanna go on Rise of the Resistance. Do not go over there to the Adventureland rope. Some people make that mistake. I'll show you why you don't wanna do that. This is the rope that you wanna line up. And let me show you the rope and I'll show you where Melissa is. And look, they have a sign if you made it to rope drop. Okay, and here's literally the rope that they are going to drop. And we are right here in front of the castle. So this is rope drop. And there's a rope right here. And then you see all these people who are lined up. And this is where we're headed, to Frontierland, to Rise of the Resistance. So I just want to show you how far Melissa got to the ropes. She is right up in front of the ropes. And we've got Adventureland here and Frontierland. Again, like I said, you don't want to line up here at Adventureland and go, because the line, it takes you all the way back and down. You don't want to go that way if you're trying to do Rise. If you're trying to do Rise of the Resistance, you definitely want to be here at the rope in front of Frontierland. Let me show you where Melissa is. Okay, wave, look, there's Melissa. Okay, she is like, what, maybe 3 rows back from the rope. But she's right here. She's gonna go that direction and she's heading to Rise of the Resistance. We're gonna wish her luck. Now, in the meantime, because we're gonna pretend like I didn't get out of bed or I didn't get the kids ready in time and we didn't make it here for entrance into the park at 7:25. What if we don't get here until 8 o'clock? I'm gonna show you why it's so important to get here early and what it looks like when you get here, when you think, okay, I did it, I got here at 8 o'clock. But I'm gonna show you why that's still a bad idea if the purpose is to get on Rise of the Resistance. Now, if you just wanna go on Fantasyland rides or you wanna go on Indiana Jones or Big Thunder Mountain, getting here at 8 o'clock for rope drop is just fine. This is only for testing purposes to show you how important it is to be here super early if Rise of the Resistance is your goal for rope drop. It is now 7:33 and you can see how that has filled in. We're gonna wait another 20 minutes before I actually get in the line. I'm gonna show you how much busier and more crowded it gets. But let me show you what people are doing over here. So people right here are lined up, probably going to Fantasyland, to Peter Pan. Another attraction I do not recommend that you run to in the morning, because if you look way back there, those are people already going into Fantasyland. Those are early entry guests. They get to be in line for Peter Pan before all of these people. You're going to be wasting 45 minutes of your morning in line. Let me come over here and show you this rope. So this is the Tomorrowland rope. These people are probably going to maybe Alice in Wonderland, to Matterhorn, maybe Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. If they're going that way, then they're probably going to Space Mountain. That's probably their goal. But again, I wanted to just show you there. Here's the rope, and this is what it means for rope drop. Now, see guests over there? These are early entry guests that are already in the park on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. These are the people who are being held at rope drop. It is now 7:52, and look how it has filled in for every land. People going to Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, and look, this is completely full now, headed over to Adventureland and Frontierland. So just an idea, it's not even 8 o'clock. We're gonna pretend like I get here about 8 o'clock, and I'm gonna literally just be right here on Main Street and walk up and decide to go on Rise of the Resistance, because I had a plan this morning and my plan was to go on Rise of the Resistance, and maybe we didn't get out of bed or whatever the circumstances. But I want to show you how crucial it is to be here early, because if you're not here early, if you're just getting here right at 8 o'clock, how long you're going to have to wait in that line. That is a waste of precious early morning hours in the park. We're going to see how much Melissa can get done. On the other hand, we're going to compare and share videos. She's going to get on Rise of the Resistance, and then she's going to go on and see how many rides she can do before I even get on the ride and get off. Okay, so can we see Melissa waving over there? Can you see her hand? She's way over there waving. That's how far away we are.
Melissa here. I'm still lined up in front of Frontierland, and we are just minutes away from rope drop beginning. The park's opening. Look at how many people have filled in behind me. Tons of people, and most of these people are wanting to go to Rise of the Resistance. I'm so glad I'm here at the front.
And And these are people coming in and they have the right idea. They're here for rope drop. It's about 7:58.
For your safety and those around you, we ask that you walk slowly and carefully to your first destination. From all of us at Disneyland, happy holidays.
It is 8 a.m. and we are off. The parks are officially open. Let's make our way over to Rise of the Resistance. I do think we need to speed this up so it doesn't take forever. So let's go a little bit faster. The fastest way to get to Rise of the Resistance is to go through Frontierland, and then you're going to make your way around Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and follow that path, and then you will enter into Galaxy's Edge. Now, you're supposed to walk, not run, and people usually do a pretty good job of walking. It looks like everyone's running in this video because I've sped it up, although a few people were, I would say, running, but most people do their best to speed walk. So if you are a fast walker, you definitely have an advantage. I am not the fastest walker in the world, but I did my best. Okay, you can see all these people that are coming in this way. Those are all early entry people, and so they can enter from Fantasyland, which puts them closer than regular rope drop guests. So if you are going to rope drop Rise of the Resistance, doing it on a non-early entry day is a good idea. Oh, I'm out of breath because I'm hustling. Let's speed this up again. My goal right now is to find the end of the line and get into the end of the line as quickly as possible. And you can see there's a ton of people ahead of me. A lot of these people are early entry guests, which makes my wait this morning a little bit longer, but I still think I'm in really good shape because I did arrive to the park so early and was able to line up before most people. All right, I made it in to the Rise of the Resistance line. Phew, maybe now I can relax a little bit because I am pretty tired. All right, so there's a lightning lane line and a standby line, and if you're at the very front, they will let you into the lightning lane line at the very beginning, which is the line I am in, and then there's the standby line over there. So because I was closer to the front, then they put me into the lightning lane line, which I'm hoping will be a little quicker. While I'm waiting in this line, let's go check in with Chantel and see what she's been up to.
Okay, so this is the way that you're going to go if you want to do Rise of the Resistance. You go through Frontierland. Look at all these people that are ahead of me. Let's see how we do. Okay, so I'm not like rushing. I'm just walking with the crowd. We are headed to Galaxy's Edge. I just overheard a mom saying to her kid, we're going to do one really long line and then the rest of the day we're just going to chill in short lines. Okay, just following the crowds here. Heading into Galaxy's Edge. I mean, it makes sense. You want to go on this ride. It's the beginning of the morning. You think you're doing everything right. And you can do everything right, but you have to be here really early for this to make sense. At this point, I'm going to go get in this line, and I'm going to waste maybe 45 minutes to an hour of the morning when I could get so many other rides done. And I think that's what people don't understand, and that's just kind of what we're trying to educate and help people to understand, that it's more efficient with your time to wait till later to go on this attraction. Oh, wow. Okay, this is the end of the line. Here is the cast member holding the sign that says end of the line. We're gonna get in line. Okay, these people that are coming this direction right here, right now, they went through Adventureland. That's why you don't go through Adventureland, because they had to come all the way down the trail, and now they're at the very end of the line, and they wasted a whole bunch of time this morning trying to get in this line. They should have gone through Frontierland.
Melissa here. I made it to the pre-show And from the time I got into the line to the pre-show, I only waited 6 minutes, which is pretty amazing. But I still don't know if this is the best strategy. Keep watching. Let's see how Chantel does.
Okay, it is 8:15 and we are still moving, but look at all the people still behind me. Okay, that says 50 minutes, and I just looked in the app and it says it's a 50-minute wait. So we're gonna time it from here. It's 8:15. So at this point, people are just walking through the line. So it is moving, but it's still gonna take us a little while to get on the ride.
All right, it's almost 8:30 and I am off the ride. Still, I only waited 6 minutes to the pre-show, but it took me 30 minutes to like walk down to the ride, wait in the line, go on the ride, and 6 minutes is awesome, but that's a big chunk of rope drop time that I feel like could maybe be better used in a different way. Chantel is still in line. We'll meet up with her later and see how her rope drop went. I still think there are better times that you can ride Rise of the Resistance. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but right now I want to hit some other rides while it's still rope drop time and lines are still low. So I'm going to go do that.
It is 8:27. I just got word from Melissa that she just got off the ride. So took her almost 30 minutes, and I am in a tunnel here waiting in the attraction line. We'll see how much longer this takes me.
I opted for Indiana Jones. This is a nice one to check off during rope drop time because it's going to get longer during the day. And if you can ride it in the morning while wait times are low, that's always a good idea. I waited 21 minutes for Indiana Jones, which is not too shabby.
It is 8:33. We are in the showroom.
Prep the ready room for re-race.
Well, it is 8:55 and I just got off the attraction. So that took just about an hour. By the time I got in line and through the attraction, about an hour. So you've got to decide now, is this how you want to spend your first hour of the morning? And if it is, great. But I just want to show you that Melissa, it only took her 25 minutes because she was at the very beginning of the rope. It really makes a difference if you can get here super early and get on the ride and get right in line, because she just walked basically onto the ride. That 25 minutes was going through the line and getting onto the attraction and then getting off. She got off at 8:25. I got off at 8:55.
We did it.
We did. All right. How did it go, Melissa?
I have thoughts and feelings. I hustled, like really, really hustled. My calves were burning. I was just doing everything I could to keep up with all these people, but I was still farther back than I wanted to because of early entry. So I'm coming around the corner and I can see just tons of early entry people streaming in
So the early entry people beat you.
by like 60 to 90 seconds. And there were tons of them that were heading that way, and there's just no way around it. So if it had not been an early entry day, I probably would have been able to be closer to the front. But as it was, I was still very close. I only waited 6 minutes to the pre-show, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But I still have thoughts and feelings. Okay, we'll talk about it in a minute.
What time did you get off of the ride?
About 8:30.
About 8:30. Okay.
Yep.
So, I was behind all that crowd, and you saw videos of that, and I just followed people in. And as I got in there, we got in line, and I felt really bad because there was this family in front of me, and they were like, "Is this how long the line is?" They're like, "How long do you think this is going to be?" And I said, "Probably like 45 minutes." And they were trying to decide whether to bail. And I thought, man, if they'd only had the tools and knew ahead of time. So by the time I got into the line, the app said 50 minutes and the wait time, like right as you go merge into the line, said 50 minutes. I got off of the attraction at 8:55. So it took me 55 minutes to get in the line, to walk through the line, do the pre-show, do the ride, and I was off at 8:55.
Now, as I was entering into Rise of the Resistance, like going into the actual queue, then there were people who had gone the long way. They had gone by Haunted Mansion and Hungry Bear and kind of looped around, thinking that it would be faster for them to get in line that way. And that's where the attraction is. But then they have to walk back all the way past the whole huge line that's already formed to the back. And these people were trying to just sneak in right up to the front where everybody was kind of merging. But cast members were not having it. They were stopping people and sending them back to the end of the line. And some of the people were pretty upset. But I mean, you got to go to the end. You can't just cut in the middle. And that is definitely an even longer way to get to Rise of the Resistance.
And the problem is on the map, people look at the app and they look at the map and the ride is over here and they think, okay, we're going to go this way to the ride, but you have to go this way because the line winds around back to the back. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you definitely don't go through that, the Adventureland side. But I had people who were in Frontierland and I watched them. We went through Frontierland and I veered off to go to Big Thunder Mountain area to go through Galaxy's Edge, and they went around still the wrong way to get through Galaxy's Edge. So even if you go through Frontierland, make sure you veer off towards Big Thunder and go around that way. Mm-hmm. So I got off the attraction at 8:55. Melissa, what were you able to do from the time you got off the ride?
So when I got off the ride, I was hoping to hit some other short wait times. So I went over to Indiana Jones. So that one always gets long later in the day. I got in line for that and I waited 20 minutes, which isn't bad.
Right.
But I still felt like, man, if I had rope dropped Indiana Jones, I would have waited half that time.
True.
And then I could have hit Jungle Cruise and Matterhorn and done a bunch of other things in that time. Instead, I was waiting in line only 6 minutes for Rise. But by the time I walked down there and I waited my 6 minutes and went on the ride, it was a whole 30-minute process. And I just still don't think it's a good use of rope drop time.
A good use of that early morning hour when you can get so many other things done. So in the hour time frame, I feel like that I was in line. So, and on the attraction, that was an hour of my day that you could spend from 3 to 4 in the afternoon or 7 to 8 in the evening in line for Rise of the Resistance. And in the morning, do attractions that are going to have a really long wait time later in the day. You could have gone Jungle Cruise, Indiana Jones, Big Thunder Mountain. You could have done Space Mountain, Matterhorn, Alice in Wonderland. I mean, there's so many things you could have done in that 1 hour time frame that I feel like even if you do have all the right things in your setup, I mean, Melissa did it all correct and did it right, but she still wasted. We kind of feel like just in general, Rise of the Resistance still isn't a great option for a rope drop early in the morning.
No, because you didn't save any time. You could show up literally, like you said, at 4 in the afternoon when lines are the very longest, and you would have waited the same amount of time for Rise. It just makes zero sense, especially when we know an awesome ride hack for riding Rise, that you'll only wait a short amount of time. That's what I want to tell you about.
All right, let's talk about that. All right, what's your hack, Melissa?
Okay, my hack is you get in line for Rise of the Resistance right before the attraction closes, not before the park closes.
Right.
Because Rise of the Resistance closes 1 to 2 hours before the rest of the attractions in the park. And a lot of people don't realize this. So I checked the app. Tonight it closes at 10 p.m. So if I were to get in line at 9:55 or 9:50, I can still ride Rise of the Resistance. As long as you're in line before the attraction closes, you get to ride. But at that point, they stop letting in lightning lanes. They stop letting in people with disability passes, rider switch, all those things. And they just work off the standby line. And so it moves really quickly. So whenever I do it, I usually end up waiting like 15, 20 minutes total, which isn't bad at all. And it's dark, so it's not hot. And it works out really, really well. Plus, by that time of night, I've done everything else that I want to do for the whole day. And then I don't feel like I'm wasting other valuable time like I did today with rope dropping.
That is a good point. My only thing with that is if kids, like families have kids, young kids that they've got to take home and it's 10 o'clock, it's too late to go on an attraction. Yeah. Then my hack, or I found has worked, is everybody rushes to that ride between in the morning, they think they're rope dropping it. So from 8 to about 10 o'clock, that line is really long. So finally, by the time all those rope drop people get out of the line, then the line time dips. And so between 10 and 11, then check the app and see how long the wait time is then. Once you've done a whole bunch of attractions in your first 2 hours of the morning, then go do Rise.
Oh my gosh, look. I'm just looking at Rise of the Resistance right now. 40 minutes. It's a 40-minute wait now. It's 9:30, so it's even shorter than it was when
I was in line.
In line for it.
Yeah.
So it was 50 minutes then, so it's already going down. So the first hour is definitely the very worst time you can ride it ever.
Yeah, try and get in line for it. So those are our thoughts. Hopefully this helps you make a decision how you want to do Rise of the Resistance, because we know it's on a lot of people's list and they want to get it done. The only other way to ride it is you can also pay for a Lightning Lane single pass, and that ranges from, I don't know, $20 to $25 a day.
Expensive.
And that could be expensive for a family. So anyway, you decide, but hopefully you've enjoyed this and follow along on both our channels. I'm Magical Tour Guide.
I'm mixing some magic.
And we're so happy you're here. Thanks for
See
joining
ya.
us.